Welcome to Fast Fridays presented by Maconi Setup Shop. We've revamped the format for this series, and tonight we have the next gen cars here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway as one of our qualifying races for the upcoming monthly money race. For those of you who haven't joined us before, Fast Fridays is a weekly series put on by Maconi Setup Shop featuring a varying car and track combination each and every week. With the revamped format, we're seeing now drivers enter these qualifying races in order to lock themselves into the money race coming up a little bit later on this month. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me in the booth tonight is Brayton Laster alongside David Kreutz working the controls as our producer. Brayton, obviously this is a new track to you, but what can we expect with these drivers behind the wheel, these next gen cars here tonight?
Yeah, you've heard of the Monster Mile. Get ready for the Lobster Mile coming at just 1 mile in length out in New Hampshire. And always puts on a great show. Some classic short track racing going to be seen here. Next gens are a little difficult to drive in the next gen car, so drivers definitely have their hands full trying to make the most of it.
Drivers definitely do have their hands full tonight. We'll see what they have in store for us as this one goes along. Tonight, of course, going to be 60 laps around this New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So a lot of great racing action to bring you here all throughout this one. Looks like we have about 15 cars here with us tonight, so not too bad of a field for this race. Brayton, obviously going to be fun, going to be a lot of opportunity for these drivers to beat and bang all night long, but I believe we're getting set to go green this time. Pace car has just made its way down pit road. It's going to be Jared Davis and Steven Myers on the front row, and they're wrecking already.
Well, but that didn't take them long at all. We were got a couple turn around there, see him just going through the gears. Someone, I don't know if they missed shift or someone misgauged it. And Tobias Matheson is quick to voice his concern over text chat with a couple words I can't, or a couple acronyms I can't repeat over broadcast.
Yeah, definitely not going to be able to repeat those as Tobias Matheson not too pleased with the rest of the field. So we're already seeing a couple of cars with some decent damage at this point. Brett Henderson, taking a look at him, he was able to get through that mess, but looks like it's all going to start around Daniel Medina and company, and that's what's going to put us under the first caution here already on lap number 1 of the day. Not what these guys were hoping for. You see Daniel Medina there, and the 14 machine also going to go around that. Of course, the 14 being Brett Henderson that we saw a little bit earlier on. And just looking at Medina's car, nose absolutely destroyed on that. Same with the Brett Henderson machine. So not a good start for these guys.
Yeah, they have one fast repair they need. I understand Tobias Matheson's frustration. Medina was the last kind of outside. Obviously got a great jump and was 3 wide before he even got to the start finish line. Took the nose off of the 14 of Brett Henderson you saw there, and that's where all of his damage came from and into the wall. So Medina just tried to jump the gun and pass 4 cars at once, and he was literally the last starter. He started 14th out of 15 cars that saw the green flag. Not all of them made it to the green flag, and Medina tried to make it inside the top 10 before the first 100 feet, and it didn't work out. Matheson got some contact out of it, so that's why he was a little upset. Well, I think it was more perplexed than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely a little bit perplexed, like you said there. And of course, the one fast repair coming into play for these drivers. Not the end of the world getting involved in an early incident, but definitely not something you would want. You want to have that fast repair as long as you absolutely can. And now for some of these guys, they're really going to have to be walking on eggshells as we see a couple cars coming to a stop there on the front straightaway. Looks like they're just trying to find their place in the field and get themselves set up to continue along. A couple of them picking up some black flags on that particular incident as well. So just unfortunate for them. Looks like they're going to be able to get those cleared up and continue along.
Yeah, I wonder why he got black flag. It's not like he jumped to start or anything and passed 4 cars before he got there. I mean, yeah. I can't imagine at all why Medina would have a black flag.
Yeah, it's very much something that we're going to question all night long. That's sarcasm, of course. These drivers not necessarily having the greatest of starts, but looks like we're going to get set for a restart once again. This time by on the front row, it's going to be Jared Davis and Brendan Argenio on that front row, the 15 and the 25. The Davis machine on the inside is going to control this upcoming restart. Fred, the pace car driver, makes his way down to the pit lane. Let's see if we can get a lap in this time, or maybe even get to turn number 1 without another incident. We are back under the green flag, and already out front, Davis going to start to pull away just a little bit side by side behind. Now going to clear to single file as Brendan Argenio ahead of Steven Myers. As we're going to go around again, Gabriel Gotti, one of those to go around. I believe Wesley Suter also going to be involved in that one. Colton Kinsey, multiple drivers are going to pick up some damage in this one. Joshua Culbreth also involved.
Yeah, our longest green flag run of the night goes disastrous. Just a couple corners into it, and heartbreak there. Getting involved. Colton Kinsey goes around, and Kinsey, that 38 generator, Todd Gillen base scheme C, just kind of loses it by himself. I don't think he had any heat in the tires yet, and tried to gas her up, and spit a little Huck 2 in the rear tires, lost some grip, and Huck 2, he went around. And Gaddy, see mowing the grass down there, so I'm sure the New Hampshire Motor Speedway Lawn Care Division will be sending him a bill for doing their job for him. But a couple guys are always starting to drop like flies, but Jared Davis so far, at the rate they're going, I think he's feeling pretty comfortable with staying in the lead here.
Yeah, Jared Davis is probably the only one that's actually a fan of how this is going so far. It's given him the opportunity really just to get out front, stay out front, not really have to worry about anything else behind him as these guys just continue to knock themselves out of the race. We're already down 3 or 4 cars at this point. I believe we started 15, and I think we have 11 or 12 still running. So we've lost a chunk of the field that unfortunately has been involved in 2 incidents already, only here on lap number 7. I know I saw Kinsey go down pit road not too long ago to serve his meatball flag. He got that fast repair. Tobias Matheson has left the server, as has Colton Kinsey and Daniel Medina, but still some great drivers in the field. Some guys we've seen up front before in Fast Fridays, such as Gabriel Gotti, unfortunately for him, was just involved in that incident. Michael Curran is another driver that we're used to running up front, as well as Jacob Johnson has been one of those mainstays on the Fast Friday circuit, as we're already past 10% of the way through this one. We'll see if we can hopefully get a green flag run coming up here in the next couple of laps. Lights are still on the iRacing.com pace car, so quite a bit of ways away from another restart.
Yeah, look at the track here. A lot of people don't realize it, especially NASCAR fans, but New Hampshire is definitely a one track does all. You're going to see the field going down the backstretch here. About the middle point of the backstretch, I'll try and point out, you'll see opening in the outer and maybe the inner gate there, kind of towards turn 3. That's actually opening to a road course that New Hampshire uses for legend cars, bandoleros, motorcycles have raced on there. I believe Trans Am back in the day might have even ran a time or two. They do some ride crossing here and there. They also have a mini oval on the front stretch. See right there to passing the openings and the kind of go to the infield, like the across the track. So it runs a part of the oval, outside of the oval, and through the infield. It's a 1.6 mile road course, and like I mentioned, that's will have the quarter mile on the front stretch here as well, and a couple other tracks. I think they have a dirt track too outside the premises somewhere. So it's definitely a multi-use complex for sure.
Yeah, I didn't actually know about the dirt track until just yesterday when there was a post about the dirt race getting delayed due to weather down there this weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So quite interesting to hear everything that they have here in regards to configurations and additional tracks, kind of similar to the facilities at Charlotte, not the racetrack itself, because that's completely different. But with Charlotte, of course, they have the road course, they got the Legends Oval, they have the big track, they got the dirt track across the street. So it's quite interesting to see a lot of these multi-use facilities that we're now seeing across the northern portion of North America here. We're going to get set to go green this time. Finally, we'll see if we can get a lap in. It's Jared Davis, Brendan Argenio, Steve Myers Jr., Michael Curran, and Keith Long inside that top 5 as the pace car about to make its way down pit road here this time. We're going to go green. It's Myers, Davis, and Argenio up at the front this time. as the green flag's out. Looks like a good start there for Jared Davis. He's able to clear up into the top spot. Argenio going to clear as well. It's going to be side by side between Michael Curran and Stephen Myers Jr. as they're going to duke it out for positions number 3 and 4. We got one around in the back. I believe that to be Wesley Suter. He's going to nail the inside wall, but is able to continue on as it looks like, Brayton, we're going to get one lap in the books.
Yeah, the longest green flag run of the night coming about the early stages of this one. Suter, though, is running the road course. It's funny, we were just talking about Wesley Suter in the 22 is, I don't know what he's doing, but he's running through the infield, trying to get the pit road and took a lap around the infield portion of the road course. And Jared Davis, though, continues to lead and got Brendan Argenio side by side for second. Right behind him, it's Michael Curran on the bottom of the 24. Argenio in the 25. Argenio, a regular in the Maconi C-Fix competition. And let me tell you, Jared Davis is having a mirror full of these two going at it. I'm sure he's loving that.
Yeah, Michael Curran there on the inside of Brendan Argenio. Argenio working that high lane, Curran down on the bottom. There was nearly contact last time by. Now Curran going to be able to get out in front. This is going to allow Argenio, though, to get a bit of a run down the back straightaway as the caution's out once again. Stephen Myers Jr., among others. Brett Henderson going to sneak through, but it's Jacob Johnson and Stephen Myers Jr. involved in this one. Caution number 3 out on lap number 12.
That was inside the top 5. Your 4th and 5th place runners there. Stephen Myers and the Kyle Larson inspired car just kind of loses in that, in that middle lane, and Jacob Johnson, nowhere to go, slides into him. So damage there for those two machines. It doesn't look too catastrophic. Johnson gets hit in the wall. I think everyone else does a somewhat good job of getting around that. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks like everyone was able to sneak through with the exception of those two. So luckily able to get through it without picking up too much damage, without collecting too many other cars. So hopefully we can continue to run with a half decent field at this point. Obviously not the way these guys were hoping to start. We're a quarter of the way through, 3 cautions in the books. And we've already had a handful of damaged race vehicles, a couple of fast repairs used already. So another big one that could definitely be catastrophic for the race at this point. But luckily for most of them, looks like they're going to be A-okay for now.
Yeah, Jared Davis is definitely the man that's the most A-okay. He had Argenio and Curran. Curran going to take that second spot on this restart, looks like, after battling there with Argenio. But, I mean, he was able to kind of pull away 5-6 car lengths, and they were closing up on him. Then Curran and Argenio started battling side by side. So, Michael Curran in the 24 up 7 spots already, 6 spots, 7 spots, something like that, out of Indiana Public Education. So they didn't teach me very good math skills. But looking through the field, he got a lot of big heavy movers. Jolene Higgins inside the top 5 for starting 13th. Keith Long, he started 10th. He's in 6th right now. And Gaddy, we were talking about him, had a little bit of trouble, it seems, only a couple restarts ago, and he's inside the top 5. So only car on track that's still on track and the multiple laps down or a lap down is Wesley Suter, who we talked about going through the road course portion. That's the guy that 720 going there. But he's 3 laps down and only car on track that is a lap or 2 down.
Well, and that's one of the things about these races where you see a lot of attrition. These drivers are going to be able to get laps back throughout and gain a lot of spots out there on the racetrack because we're losing vehicles throughout the event. Jolene Higgins has had a really quiet day so far in that 5th spot. And so far, quiet is definitely what you want your race to be with the way that this has gone so far. Higgins, like you said, up to the 5th spot, started 13th in the 33 machine. We'll see what that car really has on this upcoming restart. We'll see if it's maybe a podium contender, maybe even someone that can go up there and challenge Jared Davis. But going to be quite interesting anyways to see what Michael Curran can do side by side with Davis on the upcoming restart, what Gotti can do. That's a driver that we've seen up there before numerous times here in Fast Friday. Going to restart in the 4th spot, so outside of row number 2 on the upcoming restart. And if you can get that high side to work, it's definitely going to come in handy.
That we see some people try and run that middle line there with Stephen Myers, and this didn't really work out. I don't know if he's gone to gas too early and just didn't try to, let the rear end settle before getting back in the gas. He just didn't try to burp out at all and just hope that would stick, and around he went. Look at the track temp. I mean, it's cold. It is 67 degrees Fahrenheit looking at the track right now. I'm not going to lie. I know the track would get that cold on iRacing, so he is definitely a factor somebody's going to have to start dealing with on these restarts, especially considering last run, only 2.5, 3 laps of really green flag racing. And so it takes a while to build heat up in these cars. So, I mean, that could be something to watch too, is getting heat in their tires and see people going back and forth actually trying to get heat in their tires. And Jared Davis, though, front row in command and control, he was able to keep it.
You mentioned the 67-degree track temperature, and that's something that comes with the unique time that we're running this race, which is 7 a.m. in sim. So breakfast is not even ready yet, and we're out here on the racetrack at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But what is ready is these drivers for another restart here. Fred, the pace car driver, going to make his way down pit road. It's Michael Curran, Jared Davis on the front row. Davis with a great launch on the drop of the green flag. He's going to pull out ahead of Michael Curran. Up into position number 3 goes Brendan Argenio. He's going to get by Gabriel Gotti. They're going to go single file, now double file once again, as Gotti about to take a look there for the 3rd position. Argenio 3rd, Gotti 4th. Keith Long up into the 5th spot. That's another driver you mentioned, Brayton, that's been able to work his way up through the field. Gotti dives down to the inside, as does Curran out front. Side by side for the lead. Gotti sideways. He's going to go around. Back there in the top 5, and the caution's out once again.
Perfect timing there from Michael Curran. Just took the lead on the bottom. Davis got loose, exit of turn 4, and that's what allowed Michael to pull away. And then you saw the wreck there. Stephen Myers Jr. is quick to voice his concern over the radio. Back-to-back cautions for him. And once again, it's just going to be, it looks like a single-car spin. The 12-car of Gabriel Gotti. You're actually kind of focused on him. It's not going to be a single-car spin, though. It looked like he was sitting there a little too deep. Got into Brandon Argenio, and Gotti not really able to gather it up. And everyone does a good job of getting around Gotti. They don't do a good job of keeping it going straight. See Jacob Johnson, that red car there, he loses it. That's where Stephen Myers and Brett Henderson start to get involved. So
yeah,
heartbreak there.
Unfortunately for Myers, he's going to pick up another meatball flag. I think that's his 2nd meatball of the night. So for him, I believe his night is over, unfortunately, because he took a heavy hit to the inside wall not too long ago, now taking a big hit to the outside wall. So he's checking each of the walls off on his list here tonight, but unfortunately for him, most of those have not been of his own doing. So Stephen Myers Jr. not off to a good start here. 20 laps or so into this one, working lap 19 now, so about a third of the way through. Currently it's Michael Curran, Brendan Argenio, Keith Long, Jared Davis, and Jolene Higgins, the top 5, followed by Jacob Johnson, Gabriel Gotti, Brett Henderson. That's your top 8. Everyone else is either out of the race or currently dealing with damage on pit road. So an 8-car battle at this point in this race. Not really how I expected it to go. Usually New Hampshire puts on some fairly decent races, but tonight just seems like a bit too much chaos for some of these drivers.
Did someone try and have a change of pace? I saw Jared Davis there get loose coming off of turn 4 to lose the lead to Michael Curran, and Davis taking opportunity of this caution to come down and actually pit for tires and fuel. So some four fresh Goodyear rubbers for Jared Davis here, and he's going to be back of the pack, albeit it's only about 7 cars, but now he led every single lap there coming to the caution flag, got passed by Curran, and now Davis got to work his way through traffic and already get some heat in his tires. I mean, track is still, like I mentioned, 67 degrees, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're having clam chowder for breakfast, and I'm sure some of these guys aren't too happy about that.
Breakfast clam chowder, not something that I would be too happy about. I don't think I enjoy clam chowder, but not for breakfast. That just
I can't say I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea when we're supposed to eat clam chowder. I'm not a big clam chowder guy.
I think if you go to New Hampshire, you have to have at least some lobster, some clam chowder, something like that, just so you can fit in.
Can you put on a pizza?
Why not? Maybe not clam chowder, but you could put clams or lobster.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that one, Robert.
Well, we'll try to figure something out for you. What if we make the pizza on the lobster?
I think they've tried that before. Isn't that just like what a lobster roll is?
I don't think a lobster roll is pizza.
I mean, that's what they just take the lobster and put it on bread. I mean, might as well put some sauce on it and call it a lobster pizza.
We'll give a call to Mr. Papa John and see what he can do.
Jeff's from this
loves
region. I mean, I'm sure Jeff knows a thing or two about clam chowder and lobster.
Yeah, if Jeff Maconi was here tonight, we would pull him in right now to ask him about lobster pizza. Unfortunately, Jeff decided he was too busy for us tonight. He's traveling, or maybe he's in New Hampshire for this race tonight. Well, I guess there's no race tonight, but
there is a modified race tonight, I believe.
It's tomorrow morning now because of rain.
Oh man, that's a tough.
Yeah,
one.
so
there's
they're
an
gonna
ARCA
have
race going on right now, though.
And we are green once again. Michael Curran, Brendan Argenio up front. Curran able to clear by quite a bit ahead of Argenio and Keith Long, who are now the top three. Jolene Higgins up on the high side of Long. They're going to be side by side on the exit of turn number 2. Higgins going to lose a little bit of ground there, gets a little bit sideways, now under fire from Jacob Johnson. Johnson, of course, we saw involved in the incident not too long ago with Stephen Myers. Contact behind. Oh, that's a huge hit for Argenio. Argenio gonna need a genie in a bottle there to come back alive, as he's gonna go heavy into the outside wall. And hey, we're under caution once again.
Well, that's, I think, is our second longest green flag run on light. Ends in a heavy hit. I think the track temp is missing a lot of people because Argenio and both Keith Long just went in there and just lost it. I mean, see him, there's no contact, and both second, third there just all lose it. Jolene Higgins also heavy contact. Argenio flying down the track like a spinning lobster, and heavy contact there. And they had a couple guys going through the grass. Gabriel Gotti going through the grass, and Jared Davis a little bit of contact too. Front nose caved in big time on that 13 machine. So talked about him going in the back of the pack there to get some fresh rubber, and I don't think that's the way he wanted it to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, some pretty decent damage there for Jolene Higgins and Brendan Argenio. Both those drivers dealing with some required repairs aboard those machines. Approaching halfway here at this point, Brayton. Let's step away, take a pit stop, and we'll be right back with more coverage of Fast Fridays from the New Hampshire Motor Speed.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Fast Fridays, presented by Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone, along with Maconi Setup Shop. My name is Robert Hill Jr., alongside Brayton Laster and our great producer, David Kreutz here, working another caution at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But out front, it's Michael Curran alongside Keith Long, with Jacob Johnson, Gabriel Gotti, Jared Davis, Brendan Argenio, and Jolene Higgins, the rest of the field here on the lead lap.
Yeah, Jolene just went around and gonna be restarting the back of the pack. Still with some damage though, but Steve Myers now joining Wesley Suter as being one of the cars a lap down and still out on track. That's the important part. Brett Henderson 4 down and Wesley Suter 2 laps down. So Wesley, I believe, got a wave around that last caution. So he's going to need 2 more to get back on lead lap. But the way we're going, I got faith.
Yeah, the way that it's going so far, I think we might get everyone back on the lead lap at some point or another. I believe most of the field has used their one fast repair, and this is really an anomaly. We don't usually see chaos races in Maconi Fast Fridays, but tonight just one of those weird ones as we are green once again. Michael Curran off to a great start, side by side for second. Keith Long and Jacob Johnson. It's Long up on the high side, Johnson down on the bottom. Just behind them is where we find Gabriel Gotti and Brendan Argenio side by side with Jared Davis, as Jolene heard Brayton singing, got a little bit spooked towards the rear and got a tad bit
Gotti around.
Gotti got him right there, and the caution's out.
You're saying someone got, and I was like, Gotti got him. I was hearing you mention guys driving that's troubled or struggled big time with rear grip on these restarts, and sure enough, going into turn 3, sent it a little too hard, and can't buff that one out. We're going to see Jacob Johnson, the red 69, nice, get torn up here, which is not nice.
No, definitely not nice. And Gotti just sends it in there. It steps out on him, slides up into Johnson. Johnson hard into the wall. Gotti not going to get collected. Well, oh, that's odd. But not sure what happened right there to Gabriel Gotti. I guess the pins came undone and they decided that the nose was not going to stick on that race car any longer.
It's funny because it was appearing and it wasn't appearing and it kept appearing. It was got through a little bipolar episode. Jared Davis got a little contact. It looks, I mean, maybe not. No, looking back at it, I mean, it was tight. There was contact there, but nothing to really make a dent on Davis's car. I mean, it was inches. So kudos to Jared Davis back up there to second. Got around Michael Curran and that whole shebacco is Curran coming down, taking some fresh tires, and a couple other guys as well. So Davis should maybe inherit the lead. Depends if Keith Long pits here or not. But Davis with some fairly fresh rubber, only about a lap and a half or so of green flag racing on them. But Jared Davis in a good spot here, coming in halfway in the next lap or so.
And it does look like Keith Long's going to stay out on the racetrack. Jared Davis as well. Brendan Argenio. And actually, like you said, pit road, I don't know is actually opened as of yet, so we'll keep an eye on Keith Long and see if he does opt to come down pit road. Jolene Higgins is one of those that's on pit road getting some damage repaired aboard that machine, so we'll see how things progress from there. A couple drivers taking a few wave arounds to try to get back on the lead lap of this race, get back up with the rest of the group, and maybe make things a little bit interesting out here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, you mentioned all those drivers getting back on the wave around. At least all those are still in the session. So Ron looks like about a 9, maybe 10 lap shootout here, just past the halfway point. See the number 9 machine there, at least 9 on the screen. That's Wesley Suter. He's been in the grass, been on the road course. He's having the time of his life, though, so he will finally be back on the lead lap as Keith Long, and looks like Jared Davis will be on the front row for our 5th restart, our 6th restart, our 4th restart, somewhere around there.
One of those restarts. Hey, we're halfway, though.
That's very important.
Making some progress.
These guys couldn't have done it without the help of everyone around them. Their sponsors, the academy, and I'm sure they all have great driving coaches out there leading them and guiding them here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we've gotten a couple more drivers back on the lead lap. Wesley Suter, Jolene Higgins, and Stephen Myers all going to rejoin the field on the lead lap. Brett Henderson taking a couple wave arounds, see if we can get him back on that lead lap as well. And next caution, we're going to try to talk to Michael Curran, as long as he's not involved in that caution, because he might get a little bit angry.
It's going to be fun to watch this time. We're starting in a 4th position, has some fresh rubber. And like I said, Jared Davis, I think, also has some fresh rubber. Pitted about 9 laps ago, but it's only about a lap and a half of green flag racing. So I think Davis is honestly in a better spot because he has a little bit more heat in his tires already compared to Curran and Argenio and those guys. I don't think Keith Long has pit at all this race. I might be mistaken, but I don't think he has.
No, you're correct on that. I don't believe he's pit either as of yet. Keith Long, of course, the driver in question, currently out front in that number 71 machine, started in the 10th spot and is the only driver that is currently in the field to have not come down pit road at all here tonight. And we are green once again. Keith Long with a great jump out front. Jared Davis and Brendan Argenio going to be side by side for the second position. That's Argenio on the inside, Davis up on the high side. Nearly contact off of turn number 2 as they just about come together. Everyone able to keep it clean, keep it green, as the rest of the field going to
Here comes Gotti again.
Gotti again.
God, I'm going to turn 3. No caution yet. Gaddy around and through the grass, through the infield. So I was getting ready to call it, going into turn 3. Here's Gaddy's trouble spot, and Gaddy got him.
Gaddy got him for sure. Now back up there in the second spot. Jared Davis under fire from Michael Curran. Keith Long into the outside wall. Your race leader now going to lose a couple of spots as Davis and Curran going to go on by. That drops Keith Long back into position number 3. So maybe those old tires, like you made reference of there, Brayton, maybe coming into play now for Keith Long.
Yeah, Keith Long, we're starting to fall back down to third already, but it's a battle between Jared Davis and Michael Curran. Longest green flag run of the night. Curran on the bottom, Davis running in the middle groove, going to slide up right behind Davis, getting the dirty air. Bobble gets tight, though, and Davis gets looser. That's going to allow a huge run by Curran side by side for the lead going into turn 3.
Michael Curran out to the top spot. Jared Davis going to fall back into the second position. Long and Johnson battling it out for third and fourth as well. But up front, Michael Curran with a great jump. He's going to start to pull away just a little bit from Jared Davis at the line. That time, the gap is at about 0.3 of a second between first place Curran and second place Jared Davis. Davis still looks like he has a strong car here today. And just for reference, these drivers up front, last pit, Michael Curran on lap 28, and it was lap 23 for Jared Davis. But last time by, Michael Curran ran the quickest time of the race, which was a 30.2, as we got some trouble.
That Jacob Johnson kind of got into the back bumper. Keith Long, as Long was starting to fade, and that's not going to be the caution, though. Stephen Myers around in the back of the pack, and we'll have another restart. It's Michael Curran, though, going to be restarting from a lead, it looks like. I think that tire shot worked out good from him. And Stephen Myers, a single car spin. Once again, another car struggling with the rear grip.
Yeah, unfortunately, rear grip, something that quite a few of these guys are struggling with here tonight. So we'll see how this one goes throughout the rest of the event. Just over 20 laps remaining in this one, 25 laps to go to be exact. As you saw, Stephen Myers Jr. there just went around off the exit of turn number 4, was able to continue on. And we're working caution, maybe number 7 here so far. But we'll take a look here, Brayton, and just see if Michael Curran opts to come down pit road. If he doesn't, we'll pull him up, and you can have a quick word with our current race leader, Michael Curran.
I definitely like the race strategy. I think the fresher tires, they were just a little bit fresher than Jared Davis. But looking back at qualifying times, Curran did not qualify. Started in the back of the pack and got up to the front here pretty quick. And they actually tied him and Jared Davis did for practice times as far as the P1 spot. So they're pretty evenly well matched. And Curran's going to stay out. So we'll see if we can get a word with him.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull him in. Now, Brayton Laster standing by with our race leader, Michael Curran.
Michael Curran, you're in the lead, as my lovely announcer Robert Hero just pointed out. You had to sit there and do the work for getting around Jared Davis going into turn 3 the last time by. And how are you feeling about your race so far?
Oh, no.
We cannot hear you.
He's muted.
We see you lighting up. We see the microphone light on. We do not hear the microphone.
We see the light on, but nobody appears to be home. Michael Curran hanging out with us.
Heat your tires if you're here.
He's definitely here.
Oh, there he's heating his tires. So, I mean, is the ghost of Michael Curran in the room with us?
Blink twice if you're in trouble. Oh, he blinked twice right there, Brayton.
Oh, he's got Jared Davis right behind him, so I think he's definitely in a little bit of trouble here. Going to have to fend off Jared, but we still ain't got you, Michael.
Well, we'll send Michael back up to his channel, And if he can get his mic fixed, we'll try to talk to him a little bit later. Looks like he's working on it now.
Yep, we'll see if he's able to get it figured out, rock and rolling, and we'll talk to him the next time by, or the next caution, if there is another caution, that is.
Yeah, if there's another caution.
Nope, I just heard him in the simulator, so we'll see if we can get a quick word with him one more time. All right, Michael, let's try one more time. You heard you in the sim there. Can we hear you in the interview booth?
The answer is no.
Well, we'll let you get back to it. Wish you the best of luck. We hear you in iRacing, but we can't hear you, unfortunately, here in the broadcast booth. So we wish you the best of luck. We're starting here on the front row, and how are you feeling, though? Are you scared? Go below the yellow line if you're scared here. Go above the white line or yellow line if you're pretty confident here.
But don't go that low.
Drove him into the pit wall. So I think he might be a little scared here, but
Driver coach Brayton Laster putting you in the pit barrels.
I'll invoice you after the fact, Michael. So wish you the best of luck. That was almost disaster.
Yeah, that was, I mean, at least he listened when you told him to go below the line, but he nearly turned himself into a ghost here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And by the way, Brett Henderson is now back on the lead lap as well. So we got the top 10 all on the lead lap and ready to do battle. As we just got the white flag, we're going to go green this upcoming time by. It's Curran and Davis on the front row once again. Johnson and Suter in the second row. Gotti and Long, row 3. Argenio and Higgins, row 4, with Myers and Henderson rounding out the top 10 as we work our way into turns number 3 and 4. Getting set for a green flag this time. And again, a lot of these drivers have not pit in quite some time, so potential for wheel spin to come into play is definitely something that exists. As Michael Curran gets on the loud pedal, he's going to pull away from the rest of the field already. Davis and Johnson going to go side by side for second. Johnson on the inside, Davis on the high side, and Johnson going to push up nearly into the side of Davis right there, right off the drop down through turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. They continue to be side by side. Davis and Johnson duking it out for the second position.
Gonna be a little bit scared though, because Gabriel Gotti's right there behind him, but they got one in the wall. That's Wesley Suter. Misses turn 3 completely. He's got a big pack on ground grip. He's trying to get through the field. That's Brandon Argenio. We talked about him a little bit. Had an incident himself, and Stephen Myers also trying to get around Suter now. So they're stacking up big time, making a single file line in the parking lot here as Michael Curran's able to pull away, coming at 18 laps to go this time by, and so far looking pretty good and pretty clean for Michael Curran.
Yeah, this race kind of setting up as one that we may get a couple of green flag laps in a row. Curran has pulled away, like you said, the gap probably about 8 to 9 tenths of a second. Now we'll see as they cross the line, just under 9 tenths of a second between Curran and Davis. Davis just ahead of Johnson, about 2 car lengths ahead of him. Then they have a gap back to Gabriel Gotti. Jolene Higgins in the 5th spot under fire from Keith Long, who has a slight gap back to Brandon Argenio. Steve Myers, a good bit back. He's in a bubble of his own ahead of Wesley Suter. And then Brett Henderson a ways back as well. So not too many cars on top of each other at this point with just over 15 laps to go. That's going to be pretty good. It should give these guys an opportunity to race it out if they're able to save a little bit of tire and have something in these closing 5 laps.
Yeah, speaking of having something in closing final couple laps here, I mean, Michael Curran is in a whole other zip code, both on track already over a second advantage of Jared Davis, but lap times is about a tenth and a half quicker. So we got trouble in the back. That's Stephen Myers, real slow coming off the turn table to get it going, no caution yet, but at the line this time, I mean, Michael Curran's absolutely flying, like I said, about 10th and a half quicker than Jared Davis, and then about 3, 4, 5 tenths or so quicker than the rest of the top 10. So Michael Curran has turned on the turbo boosters, and he's checking himself out here if he can.
And we have what appears to be a 4-car battle brewing for position number 4, just a little bit further back. It's Jolene Higgins, Gabriel Gotti, Keith Long as Gotti goes around and cautions out.
Got him.
Gotti got us another yellow flag here, and looks like he's going to tow and likely be done for the night.
I'm surprised this car was even still on track, to be honest. I was getting ready to bring that up. He's had a lot of heavy incidents tonight and able to keep it going, but I think this might be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it does look like it is likely the final nail in the coffin for him. And just a quick note, looking ahead at the upcoming schedule here for Maconi Fast Fridays. Tonight, obviously, is the next-gen car here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Next week, we're going to hit up the Kentucky Speedway in the super late models. And then that brings us to another fantastic money race, which is actually going to be the 5th of July. So maybe a little spectacle the day after the 4th of July down there in the United States of America. It's going to be the late model stock car at Richmond. That's going to be our money race, which for those money races, if you're new to Fast Fridays, gives the winner an option of either a 1 meter trophy, which is 3.3 feet tall, which I've seen some photos of previous trophies and they look pretty darn cool, or $250 cash. You can buy your own trophy if you want.
I'm not gonna lie, I won the iRacing Open Indy 500 back in like 2020 and 2021. The 22nd split. And you wanna know why I did?
Did you buy a trophy?
I went and bought myself a 6 foot tall trophy.
That's fantastic. I absolutely would.
It sits in my bedroom. It says, Brayton Laster iRacing 2020 22nd split Indy 500 Open winner. So,
that is phenomenal.
Because people think, he's a real life racer driver. That's from a race you won. No, the biggest trophy in my collection is from an iRacing Indy 500 that 2 people finished.
I mean, have you seen the size of the eNASCAR trophy that Casey Kerwin has? That thing's huge.
I see. Yeah, that thing's awesome. I'd love to be able to put that thing above my mantle.
It's the size of your mantle. I don't think it's going on the mantle.
Some of the ARCA trophies I know are pretty sweet. I know there's I just love to win an ARCA race, but there's some races I know hey, that'd be pretty cool to win, I know Nashville always has when they go to Nashville, they typically have some pretty sweet trophies. I know Five Flags will typically have some. Berlin always has a great trophy. So if I had to pick and choose, I mean, if I had to win an ARCA race, if I just had to happen to have to.
If I had
one,
to do it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So I got the cream of the crop if I wanted to pick,
I think Martinsville would be a cool one just because of the grandfather clock. I mean, there's so much history behind it, and
or
half the people. Here. This one, yeah, you can get yourself a lobster. As we are green once again, Jared Davis, Jacob Johnson, and Brendan Argenio, the top 3. It's side by side between Keith Long and Michael Curran just behind. Now a battle for the lead. Is Argenio going to jump down to the inside to Jared Davis for the top spot? It is a 4-car pack all under a blanket out front. Davis, Johnson, Argenio, and Curran. Then there's another pack behind them that involves Long, Suter, and Higgins duking it out for 5th on back as these guys keep swapping spots up top, side by side for 2nd. Johnson on the high side. Curran was on the inside.
The Curran fallen back a little bit. He came down the pit road at the last caution, got some fresh rubber, so it worked last time. Should hopefully work this time as Jared Davis has a miracle of Jacob Johnson and Bernard Argenio back here in the podium position, but we're going to re-rack and restack them. If we got a big one in the back, what is the shooter around, and he's pony dogging it. It's
and Jolene.
Yeah, Jolene. Oh, Jolene went around.
Jolene, Higgins, Wesley, Suter going to go around, and this will set us up for less than 10 laps to go, as that's the 14 machine of Brett Henderson flying by up on the high side.
It's a nice synchronized spin.
Oh, that's the replay. I was like, oh no, they did it again.
No, that was a nice little synchronized spin. Jolene went around first, coming off of turn 2, and Wesley Suter decided to gas it up and make the same mistake that Jolene did. I mean, it was an incredible synchronized spin. I mean, he slid in a line right behind her, about 2 inches off the back bumper, and no contact between them. I gotta give him credit. I mean, it looked really, really good for a wreck.
Well, I think the interesting part of that was even when they got it spun back around, it was synchronized. So just from the start of it to the end of it, they had that thing down to an art, and it not what you want to do, but still looked cool.
100%. Speaking of being cool, being calm, being collected, Michael Curran up there in that 4th spot with this fresh rubber. I think he's in a prime spot to get around Jacob Johnson, Argenio, and Jared Davis now that his tires aren't cool, calm, or collected. So I feel like I was struggling with there. Wasn't able to put the power to the rear wheels and really get to drive off the corner. And about lost that 4th spot to Keith Long there for a second before that caution came out. So now I got some heat in those tires. Going to be restarting with about 7 laps to go, but I had to guess. And I think there's 7 prime laps for Michael Curran to get back up here to the front.
Well, Brayton, Michael Curran has confirmed that he got his microphone working. So as the lights are still on the safety car, why don't we go ahead and pull him in and see if you can have a quick word with him?
We'll do it. We'll try again. Michael Curran, are you in the room with us?
Hey guys, how's it going up in the booth?
Well, we've got him. It's going great. I think it's this race though is going definitely better for you than it is for us. Not gonna lie, but you're in that 4th spot to get that fresh rubber. And how you feeling about the strategy here?
Yeah, I'm liking the fact that I'm first with fresh tires. I'm a little concerned that we're running out of laps here, so hopefully I've got a shot to make something happen up front. I know Jared and I have been battling for most of the race. It's been fun, but hopefully the tires kind of give me an edge here these last few laps.
Yeah, it seems a lot of drivers have been struggling with the rear grip. What's that all about? Do you think it's a track tip? Do you think people just have a heavy right foot, or?
maybe a little bit of both, but no, the setup is really edgy, as you pointed out. So it's really easy to light the rears up and loop yourself, or even going into the corners. It's easy to lock the brakes up or get yourself squarely. So it's really treacherous out here. We gotta really tiptoe to not hit each other.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm hoping we're gonna be talking to here at the end. See if we can get a top 5 run going, and with that fresh rubber, I have no doubt. So wish you best of luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That was finally Michael Curran.
I'm glad that he found his voice, Brayton.
Yep. Talk about a coming of age moment there for Michael. Finally able to figure it out and speak to us for the first time in ages. Brings it to my eye.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see your eyes are glistening a little bit up here. We'll get you some tissues.
I appreciate it. I prefer if you've got some like garlic breadsticks. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, you want to wipe your tears with garlic breadsticks?
100%. Oh man, if you
all right, we can do that.
Wipe your tears with garlic breadsticks, are you really doing it right?
Well, usually they don't make it past my mouth on my face to get up to my eyes, but I'll try going the other way and wipe the tears first. We'll give that a go. But what we're gonna give a go now is another restart here up front. Jared Davis on the inside, Jacob Johnson up top. It's Brendan Argenio, Michael Curran in row number 2, Keith Long, Jolene Higgins. Row 3, Brett Anderson, Stephen Myers, and Wesley Suter round out the lead lap drivers as we're getting set to go. Green flag is out this time. Davis with a great jump out front. It's side by side for second. Johnson on the high side. Argenio down on the inside with just 6 laps to go. The top 4 all together once again.
Jared Davis able to hang on to the lead for now. Got to watch Michael Curran as he works his way around Brandon Argenio for third. Running the outside, able to get momentum off the corner side by side. Curran's going to clear him. Curran for second. Going to fall back to the third.
Jacob Johnson took a look to the inside as we're coming to 5 to go this time by Jared Davis, Jacob Johnson, Michael Curran. That's your top 3 as Curran catching up to the rear end of Johnson. Takes a peek to the high side, checks up just a little bit now. Nearly gets run over from behind by Brendan Argenio. Argenio going to stack up Long and Higgins behind him as well. Here comes Argenio down to the inside of Curran. They're going to enter the corner almost side by side as Argenio going to fall back now. Curran once again going to drive up, takes a peek once again to the outside of Johnson as Jolene Higgins going to hit the wall in the back. She's going to continue on and keep us under green flag conditions, but side by side for second. Curran up top, Johnson down on the inside, and here comes Brendan Argenio as well.
And Jacob Johnson already struggling with that middle corner grip, starting to get tight off and losing a ton of time off. Michael Curran taking advantage of that to close up now to Jared Davis in the lead. I mean, you see the gap there. Curran's closing in big time on corner entry. Those new rubbers are coming, and they're coming quick.
New tires definitely coming into play here for Michael Curran. Also has a little bit of confidence after coming up and talking to us here in the booth. But Curran absolutely closing that gap relatively quick here on the rear end of the Jared Davis machine. Davis out front in the 13. Curran in that second spot in car number 24. Takes a peek down to the inside now. Side by side for the top. Nearly contact between Jared Davis and Michael Curran. Is Curran going to fight back once again? Gets another run off of turn number 4, back down to the inside once again. Popsicle sticks displayed, 2 laps to go, and the battle for the lead is on.
That Curran thought about poking his nose down there. He does, side by side coming off of turn 2. Davis on the outside. Belt goes up into the wall. Curran still hanging on the quarter panel and getting some side draft a little bit, going down the back straight, going to turn 3 and 4. They're expecting to get the white flag this time. Jared Davis goes wide. Curran on the bottom, still a side by side. Davis gets loose.
White flag in the air this time. 1 lap to go for Jared Davis out front. He leads the way ahead of Michael Curran in that second spot. Curran down on the inside off of turn number 2, working their way down the back straightaway. A bit of a bobble there for Curran. He's going to have one final shot as they work their way towards turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Davis on the high side goes way high, overcooks it into the corner. Here comes Michael Curran off of turn number 4. They're going to be side by side. Checkered flag. It's Michael Curran. What a drive in turns 3 and 4 for Michael Curran on those new tires to get it done here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Jared Davis second, Jacob Johnson third, Brendan Argenio in fourth, and Keith Long going to round out the top 5.
Davis did everything he could there, trying to get the run off the corner, sent it deep into 3 and 4. Didn't want Curran to move him out at all, and he had a good run. This wasn't a good enough run to beat Curran at the line.
What an absolute phenomenal drive. When we got the green flag runs in here tonight, they were absolutely phenomenal. Taking a look at the finish once again, that's Curran on the inside, Davis up top. Davis, I thought, was going to have a shot on the high side there at the end, but just ran out of steam, ran out of time, and it was the fresh rubbers of 23 newer laps for Michael Curran that got it done here tonight ahead of Jared Davis. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, Brayton, and when we come back, we'll talk to our podium finishers if they want to join us, but especially our race winner, Michael Curran, who I know is going to be quite excited here in just a few moments' time. We'll be right back.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, just wrapping up another fantastic round of Maconi Fast Fridays presented by Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Competizone, and Maconi Entertainment. Of course, all here on the iRacing.com platform. Be sure to join us next week as well, folks. Just a little hint ahead to that one. That's going to be the super late models at Kentucky, the final qualifier before our money race, the late model stocks at Richmond on July 5th. Let's take a look at our finishing results here tonight, and then we'll have a chance to speak with race winner Michael Curran here in just a couple moments' time. And as mentioned, Michael Curran picking up the victory out of Texas tonight ahead of Jared Davis. Jacob Johnson going to round out the podium here tonight. Brendan Argenio in fourth. Keith Long in that fifth spot. Jolene Higgins with a rocky run here tonight. Was up, was down, and all around in that sixth position. Brett Henderson in seventh. Wesley Suter eighth. Stephen Myers in ninth. Gabriel Gotti going to round out the top 10 here tonight.
And then Tobias Matheson saw him kind of off in that first lap or first 100 feet incident there. Colton Kenzie's going to be behind him in 12th. Joshua Fireball Colbreth. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how we missed that name. I don't know if he coming to green flag or what, but he's going to be 13th. Daniel Medina in 14th. And then Josh Keller in the 15th. Everyone else did not make it to the green flag, unfortunately, to see all the fun and exciting racing that took place here in New Hampshire tonight.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate that they weren't able to join us. They missed out on a good one, but let's go ahead now and bring in our race winner, Michael Curran. Michael, you got it done here tonight. Why don't you walk us through that one, and how did you make that strategy call to get those fresh tires there at the end?
Yeah, that's what a wild finish. Yeah, honestly, the last restart, I just was pushing a bit too hard, and I was really losing time. Kept getting squirrely off the corners and whatnot. I almost lost it one of those turns. So just kind of had to settle down a little bit and just hit my marks and start setting some good lap times. And I was able to pick them off one by one there with the fresh tires. And then man, one heck of a battle with Jared there those last couple laps. I was just hoping that he would make a mistake because it's pretty hard to pass here. And sure enough, going into turns 3 and 4 on that last lap, he drove it in a bit too deep, and I was able to get underneath him and just hope that I could nose him to the finish line, and I was able to do it.
Now, obviously, you mentioned that Jared made that mistake there going into turn number 3. When did you realize that you got him and you were going to take that top spot?
Yeah, well, it was right at the breaking point going into that corner. I could tell he I don't know if he missed it. I want to say he missed it, but he tried driving it in real deep, and I knew right then and there that he wasn't going to be able to really make it, and so I knew that was my chance to dive down low and hopefully scoop up the spot coming back down the front stretch.
Now, obviously, Michael, still a couple races to go here in the Fast Friday schedule. Next week, we're going to take the super late models to Kentucky. What's your outlook for that one? Do you think maybe you can go back to back?
Well, sure. I would like to think so. Yeah, I mean, that's what's great about this series. It's something different, a different combination of car and track every week. So it keeps everyone on their toes, and it makes someone different a favorite every week. And so it should be fun. Yeah, hopefully I can go back to back. We'll see. But yeah, we'll give it a shot next week.
Well, before we get to your shout outs here tonight, Michael, I'm going to throw it over to Brayton Laster and see if he has any questions for you.
Sounds good.
Fire away. I just want to know what did it take to get the microphone working here in Discord?
Man, yeah, you know what? I'm glad you asked. So, and that's partly why I pitted as well, to try and buy me some time. So my computer had an update, and I guess it, goofed up all the inputs and whatnot, and it renamed my microphone. So I wasn't able to find it and all that in my inputs. So I had to do some investigating, but eventually figured it out. So apologies to you guys in the booth. I know that doesn't make for a good interview when you can't even hear the interviewee. So, but anyways, that's my sob story. The computer. I blame the computer and its updates.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the biggest battles on the track or off the track or all night for sure. So we're glad we're able to get it figured out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was sweating.
Well, Michael, before we let you go here tonight, any shout outs you want to give? The floor is yours.
I appreciate it. Yeah, obviously would like to thank you guys in the booth for bringing this to life, putting on a great show. You guys always do a fantastic job with this. Jeff Maconi as well, and Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment. for putting this whole series together. Again, it's been a blast. I've been out the past few weeks for summer vacation, so glad to be back and made for one hell of a finish as well. So glad to be back doing this every week. And I suppose last shout out would be to my friends and family for all their support in helping me get along with what I love to do here.
Well, Michael, congratulations once again, and we'll see you next week at Kentucky.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Well, Brayton, before we head off here tonight, obviously this was kind of a last minute deal for you. About 2 minutes before we went live, we were searching for a replacement because William couldn't make it tonight, and you're able to show up. But what's your thoughts on tonight's race here at New Hampshire?
I'm not gonna lie, it's my first time. We talked about this a little bit in the commercial. It's my first time doing anything with New Hampshire here on the iRacing platform. I didn't own it until literally I had to buy it for this broadcast. So definitely seems like a fun track. A Brayton Last's fan favorite so far. I'm going to get out there and see what it's like, though, for sure. Maybe run some fixed competition. Some actually, Maconi, I don't think it's Maconi C-Fix is not here this week, but maybe run some A or B fix, see what I can get going for me and try the track out as a driver.
Yeah, definitely a fun one that I've always personally enjoyed, and looking forward to hopefully getting some official races in there this week. But I think that's just about going to do it for us here tonight. So before we head off, we do want to thank tonight's race sponsors, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as Maconi Competitive Zone. Calling the action tonight was myself, Robert Hill Jr., alongside the great Brayton Laster up here in the booth with David Kreutz, our producer here tonight. We want to thank all of our great viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and we hope you'll stay tuned to all of our social media pages for our next Fast Friday race, which is next week in the Super Late Model at Kentucky. And don't forget to tune in each and every week for our broadcast of the top split of the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix series, where you can find Brayton Laster up there in the booth for those. And folks, this has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you at the checkered flag. Have a good night, everybody.